Welcome. In this video, we will have a practical introduction to op-amps. We have all seen op-amps in theories and we have done calculations using the relevant concepts like virtual shorts, comparators, etc. And here we will be looking at some practical op-amp ICs and different characteristics of them. How to choose a practical op-amp, and how to look at the data sheet, and what are the three main pinout categories of op-amps. We will look at them. Firstly, we have the 741 types. The 741 types has this 8 pin deep or SMD parts available. This kind of this package has only one op-amp, as you can see in the figure, and for 741 1 and 5 are used for offset null adjustment, and 8 is cement unconnected or MC. But in other op-amps like CH3130 or CH3140, this is used as the strobe, or maybe in other op-amps this pin is sometimes used for compensation capacitors, and the usage of this pin actually varies from device to device, but the basic op-amp pinout remains the same. Means that 2 will always be the inverting, 3 will be the non-inverting, and 6 will be the output. This configuration is same for all the 741 types, or the TLO81 or TLO71 or any 5534, OP07 or 27, and the list goes on. You need to look at the datasheet for looking the pinout. Another pinout type is of the LM358 types. The LM358 is a popular dual op-amp. As you can see here, this is always the plus VCC and minus VCC. There is no offset null adjustment here, on not there is any compensation capacitor adjustment here. You will have just two op-amps and one minus VCC and plus VCC pins. The LM358, NE 5532, TLO72 and 82, MCP 600, 4558, etc. There are many such other op-amps which falls under this category. And the another most popular category is the quad op-amp type. It has 4 op-amps plus, and this is the plus VCC and minus VCC, 14-pin deep package, or maybe available in SMD packages. Popular ICs are the LM324, TLO74 or 84, MCP 6004 or MCP 604, and OP491, and the list goes on. So in a nutshell, for especially for deep op-amps and some SMD parts, these three pinout types are the most widely used op-amps you can ever see in the market. These three are the most popular pinout configuration types of op-amps. So now we will be looking at a datasheet practically, and how to choose an op-amp practically. Let's see. Here we have chosen a OP07 low noise precision operational amplifier. This operational amplifier is a expensive one. It might cost around $2 to $3 per piece, and here you can see this is the 5 is NC. So this falls under the 741 pinout category types, and my 4 is the V minus, and 7 the V plus, and this is 1 and 8 is used for VOS trimmer purposes. So you can see the functional block diagram here, and always firstly when you looking out for an op-amp, you must read all the general descriptions. See here, it is written as the PSRR and CMRR exceed 120 dB. This is very much high for an op-amp. That's why this op-amp is very much costly. 120 dB is a huge amount actually. Here you can see the specifications. Input offset voltage microvolts, rising microvolts. Input offset currents is in nanoampere ranges. You can have other parameters. Input resistance rise from megohm to gigaohms, very much high. Power supply rejection ratio, core mode rejection ratio, 120 dB. It is a very high quantity actually. 120 dB is a very high quantity. And slew rate, you can see 2.8 volts per microseconds. That is also a very high quantity. Typically for a cheap op amp, you may see it around 0.5 volt per microseconds, and so on. But this one has a huge slew rate, so that's why this op amp is very much costly. Also, you can see it is only 70 ohms, but $2 to $3 is a reasonable price, and for any high-end application, you may buy this op amp if you have a very high frequency signals, or very filtering is being done with cutoffs at large frequencies, or if you want to use it as a filter for removal of high frequency noises. This op amp is very much useful for this. This op amp is not recommended for audio filtering purposes. For audio filtering purposes, 4558 IC, LM358 ICs are more than enough for the job. Then those op amps will cost you around some few cents actually. But this op amp is a OP27 op amp is a pretty expensive op amp, and it should be used only in a very specific applications, and in a very high-end project types. Like also, if you are working on an ECG acquisition or PPG acquisition projects, you may use this op amp, because you may get better results by using this op amp in such practical cases. So always look at the parameters, and looking at the numbers, you can get an idea that whether this op amp will be costly or not, and whether this op amp will suit your purpose or not. So just as I said before, this OP27 is a pretty overkill for an audio filter. For audio filter, an LM358 op amp is enough. So OP27 here is just an overkill. So you should not use an OP27 for an audio amplifier filter. So these are the parameters you should look out for. Also, if I look for other op amps like TLO72, if I search for this op amp, here you can see that it is a low voltage JFET based op amp, TLO7XX, TLO72. First we will see the TLO72 here. TLO72 falls under the category of the LM358 types. This is the TLO72. It falls under the pinout category of the LM358 types. Also, I missed the TLO71X. The TLO71X has the pinout same as the 741 types op amps, with only a single op amp. Here the 2 represents the TLO72X series has 2 op amps inside it, and it is very much clear from the pinout here. And also, if you see the TLO74, the TLO74 is exactly same as the LM358 types. Also, there is another op amp as the MCP619, which has also same pinout as the LM324. So just as I said before that, you have typically 3 general configurations for a deep or SMT type of op amps: the 741 pinout types, the LM358 pinout types, and the LM324 pinout types. The LM324 features just the same pin configurations as the TLO74 or the MCP619. But if you look at smaller packages such as this FK package, these pinouts are not same, and this is obviously is not the point of our discussion here. Our point of discussion is restricted only to dual inline package based or DIP or SMD parts if available. We are not dealing with this smaller packages here, or neither with this package. We are only taking the deep types. For the deep types, you will just have this in general, the three types of pin configurations, just as we said before. But always look at the datasheet before using any op-amp. Always look at the specifications. Always choose whether this op-amp will suit your purpose or not. See your supply voltage specifications. See the in your input voltage range, input frequencies, amplification factor, slew rate. Always consider all these factors, and then you may go to buy an op-amp. Just as I taught you to read a datasheet, make this a habit to read a datasheet actually. So reading a datasheet will help you to identify which op-amps you should use for your project. So now we will see some few op-amps in practical, and also we will see some of the sensor boards and other actuator boards which we will be making using op-amps. So let's see. Right now, very commonly you will be find LM324 quad op-amp ICs, MIU A741 IC. The MIU A741 IC was the first ever commercial op-amp which gained widespread popularity. It had an input impedance of 1 megahertz and have a dominant pole at 5 Hz. And as time advanced, more op-amps came with a higher input impedance, high slew rate, and high power supply rejection ratio, and they have also very low output impedance. The LM324 have a input impedance greater than 1 megohm and better than the MIU A741. This LM324 have 4 op-amps inside it. It can run on plus minus 15 volts. Also, you can have the 4558 IC. The 4558 IC have 2 op-amps inside it. Also, you can have the LM358. It also has two op-amps inside it. Similarly, there are a huge number of such op-amp ICs, each with different characteristics. The TL074, its specialty is that this op-amp is based on JFETs. It has JFET inputs and it has input impedance of more than 10 megohms. And these are way better than the op-amps which are made using BJTs. The LM324, the 4558, these are BJT based op-amps, but the TL074, the TL072, these are based on JFETs. And here I have also present the SMD of LM324, the SMD version. You can buy it at bulk in tip and reel packages, and there are huge other such ICs, and naming all them are virtually impossible. You can have more details about op-amp, different kind of op-amps with different packages in Analog Devices as well as Microchip Corporation. Also, you can find a lot of the data sheets in Texas Instruments websites. And now I will be showing some of my boards which I have built using op-amps. And this is, for example, this is a continuity meter and made using LM358. You can find the link down in the description below, and also the video link you can find here in the description. This one is a Li-Fi detector. This one is the infrared detector. The pulsed IRA will come here, and the different filtering and amplification sections are here, so that the demodulation can be done. This is a Li-Fi receiver actually. This board was made using comparators. LM324 used as comparators. This board was made for the ADXL 335 accelerometer, which can generate analog values and this comparator has been used to convert them into digital by setting different thresholds for the different directions. This section was this bar is for placing the ADXL 335. This one is a light detector. This is the photodiode here, BPW34 photodiode, and there is a small filtering stage and then a gain stage made using the LM324. This one is an audio detector, commonly known as the clap switch. As you place a noisy sound here, the output will turn on high, and this kind of devices are popular in clap switches. This one is a audio crossover. This one is a audio crossover filter made using a Salinity topology with unity gain. Here you will have the LM324 or TLO74 IC. And this one is the bigger version of the previous one. This is the power supply section. This is the bass side, this is the treble side, and this is the band pass, which is the mid range. This performed quite satisfactorily, and I have used it in my tweeters and woofers and subwoofers. This active crossover worked quite well. It uses a Salinity topology with Butterworth response. I also used this audio crossover to get the Bode plot using my DSO in the college. I got this frequency response curves. This is the low pass, the bass, and this one is the treble, and this one is the mid range, the band pass. The theory and the practical cutoff values were quite close and satisfactory, and I'm satisfied with the results. And also I'm now making this current measuring device using op-amps. I'm not finished it yet, and this one actually is the op-amp tester. This op-amp tester will test various op-amps which are available in different packages. The link to make one of these boards and the working of this board in action can be found in the I button here, and also the link can be found in the description given below. You can make one of these op-amp tester boards to save your time, and if your op-amps are faulty, you can readily check them from the status of the LEDs. You can find the detailed description down in the description of the video. And also I have another of these op-amp projects. Here it is a MQ2 based gas detector. Here it is set as a comparator, and after the threshold set by this potentiometer, the output will turn high. So there are endless projects you can make with op-amp. The opportunities are limitless. So here I have a schematic for building an op-amp tester. I have the link to make one of these op-amp and 555 timer tester kit in the link down in the description below. So I'm showing you my version of this op-amp tester. This is my version. I have used this board for a long time, and this board is actually one of the highest used DIY boards I have even made. Also I forgot to mention one last thing, that always look at the company datasheet. They will provide the full op-amp lists, as this one is for the microchip op-amps, and this one is for the analog devices. They have a huge category and huge selection of op-amps. These are pretty huge in number, so you may check them out at their official site. So thanks for watching this video, and if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe, and please subscribe to my channel for getting such further interesting videos.